Hey, what's up everyone? I welcome you to my channel Professor Sibyl Mandal, the PCM. And today we are going to talk about the most awaited part, that is the part 2 of the hydrographs. I know this video has been very late and you have been waiting for this one. The part 1 of the hydrographs included few topics like the unit hydrograph, the components of unit hydrograph, the derivation of unit hydrograph and the steps to construct a unit hydrograph, the relation between the unit hydrograph and the direct runoff hydrograph or the flood runoff hydrograph. And finally, we studied the methods of superposition. So this was all about the first part of the hydrograph. I know if you have missed the video, you may please check on the I tab button or the link is also given in the description. And with further ado, let's start the part 2 of the hydrographs. So in the previous part, we have learned about the method of superposition, where what we used to do, if we had a particular unit hydrograph, this is time and this is discharge. If we had a particular unit hydrograph, what we used to do, we used to lag it. I'll just change my marker. We used to lag it, and then we used to find the superposed of all of this, and this was the method of superposition. And in this method of superposition, what we used to do, if suppose we are given a dr hydrograph, we could find the ndr hydrograph, provided that this n is equal to 1, 2, 3. So this n has to be particularly an integer so as to find this particular nd-hour hydrograph. Like suppose if we are given a 4-hour hydrograph, with it we could find 8, 12, 16, means if I multiplying n into 4, that is n should be equal to 1, 2 or 3, and these are just simple integers. But the question is, practically this thing won't be applicable, because if we are going to see the practical observations, it's not always that n is going to be an integer. N can be anything, like n could be equal to 1.2, n could be equal to 0.5. So there are many such possibilities. So for that case, this method of superposition won't work, because you have seen the techniques of method of you have seen the techniques that we use in the method of superposition, and that's what we dealt in the part 1 of these hydrographs. So now, if there is some situation where the n is equal to 1.2 or 0.5, we are going to study another type of hydrograph, where we will be dealing with such kind of scenarios where we will be given a d-hour hydrograph. We are asked to find the nd-hour hydrograph, but n is equal to some, not some integer, it's some other number like 1.2, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, anything. So this thing will be studied in this part, and this is known as the S-curve hydrograph, or you can simply say the S-curve method. So this is the S-curve method, where we are going to talk about this type of scenarios. So let's check out the presentation for the part 2 of the hydrographs. You can see that we are talking about the S-curve method over here, and it is the first usage is that it is used to develop an unit hydrograph of duration md, where m is a fraction. So as we saw in this case, that we were taking n is equal to 1.2, 0.5 or even 0.6 or some other numbers, so which is basically a fraction. In the last video, in the method of superposition, we were taking m is equal to 1, 2, 3, which is an integer. So whenever the m is a fraction, we are going to use the S-curve method. Next, to define the S-curve, the S-curve, also known as the S-hydrograph, is a hydrograph produced by a continuous effective rainfall at a constant rate for an infinite period. So if we are going to study about the S hydrograph, you are going to know that this S hydrograph would be a summation of a continuous and effective rainfall. So whenever we will be solving the problems related to S curve or S hydrograph, you will be seeing that we will be continuously adding the this ordinates of the hydrograph or the effective rainfall, and so we will be getting an increasing curve, and thus S curve is also an increasing curve. This one thing you must keep it in mind. So again, it is written that it is obtained by the summation of an infinite series of dr unit hydrographs spaced dr apart. So the hydrographs needs to be spaced by a d-hour apart, and so as it is a d-hour unit hydrograph, we will keep on adding the ordinates, and thus we will get the summation will be giving us the S curve. So this is this particular thing is a diagram of S curve. So if you are given this unit hydrograph, just keep on lagging it and then finally add all of them so as to get this curve known as the S curve. You may take a screenshot of this one, or you may note this if you are taking a note of all these things, or if you want this presentation, the link for the presentation will be given in the description of this video. So to study about this S-curve method, let us first go on to this numerical which is given over here. We will be solving this numerical right now to understand what is an S-curve and how do we construct an S-curve and how is this used for the particular problems. So you can see that in this problem, it is shown that you are given a 12-hour unit hydrograph and you have to compute the ordinates of a 6-hour unit hydrograph. So you can see that M here is 0.5. Because 12 hour is given to us, we are to compute 6 hour, means M is 0.5. 0.5 into D, that is 12, that is equal to the 6-hour unit hydrograph. That is we are asked to find over in this question. So let's proceed for the solution of this. Okay, so before proceeding on to the numerical that is given to us, that is asked to us, we first need to know what is an S-curve. Means how does this S-curve, or what is the technology behind this S-curve is. So suppose this are my axis, this is the time over here and this is the discharge over here, and suppose I have one hydrograph. Suppose this is a 3-hour unit hydrograph. Suppose this is a 3-hour unit hydrograph. Now what we are going to do, if you read the third point which I was talking about in the presentation, that it is obtained by summation of an infinite series of dr unit hydrographs spaced dr apart. So in this we have this 3, 6 and 9. Suppose this is a hydrograph of base time 9 hours and this is a 3-hour unit hydrograph. What we are going to do, we are exactly going to lag this hydrograph by 3 hours. So if I make up this axis quickly, suppose 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36 and so on, we are going to lag this one by 3 hours. So it was from 0 to 9. So if I lag the same thing by 3 hours, it will be from 3 to 12, because the base time is 9 hours. This is not going to change. Similarly, I'll just keep it lagging. So it will become now from 6 to 15. Now it will be from 9 to 18, 12 to 21 and so on. Okay. So the next job is that we have to do the summation of all this. So now, any guesses how this graph is going to come if we are summing up the ordinates of the lagged ones? Comment below in the comment section that what is going to happen. Just pause the video and give it a shot that what is going to happen to the summed up curve of this one, and write it in the comment section below. Okay, so let me tell you, if you are not getting the idea about as to how this curve is going to form, this curve will certainly be, okay, I'll just use some separate color for this. This curve is certainly going to be a nicely increasing curve, and then at a certain stage, oh my god, it's going to flatten up. Any ideas why it is going to flatten up? This is, we are summing it continuously, so this is increasing, but at a certain point this is going to flatten up. So any idea why this will be flattening up? To answer your query, let us just take this particular example, because 0369 up to 9 hour, if the hydrograph was going to be very small, so I just extended it to one more step, that is up to 12 hours. So now just do the same thing that what we were expecting to do for an S-curve. So this is the durations, and we have our 3-hour unit hydrograph over here, as suppose it is 0, 5, 7, 4, 0. Let's have it like this. Now let us lag it by 3 hours. So this is lagged 3 hours. So accordingly, what we saw in the diagram, we were lagging it by the whatever duration of hydrograph we are having, we will lag it by that much duration only. So if I am lagging this one, the first row is going to be vacant, and then the same ordinates, all of these ordinates are going to repeat itself. That is 0, 5, 7, 4, 0. Because what we were doing, like this was our unit hydrograph of 3 hours. We just lagged it for 3 more hours. That's what we are doing it over here. Again, now this time it is lagged for 6 hours. 3 plus 3, that is equal to 6. So we are lagging it by 6 hours in the second step, and the first 2 rows are going to be vacant, and the same ordinates are going to repeat itself. 0, 5, 7, 4, 0. So this is lagged by 6 hours. Similarly, lag 9. This is lagged by 9. I'm writing in short, lag 9. So if it is lagged by 9 hours, the first 3 rows are going to vacant. We are going to start from 9, and it will be again 0, 5, 7, 4, 0. Lag 12 will be, we'll start from 12 hours, that is 0, 5, 7, 4, 0. Fine. This is lag 12. Okay. Next, we lag it by 15 hours now. We'll just keep on lagging. The more we lag, the more accurate we are going to get. So up to 12 there won't be anything. Suppose this is 15, 18, 21. So this will be now starting from the 15th hour, that is 0, 5, 7, 4, 0. Okay. So now let's do the summation of the ordinates. It is 0, 5, 7 plus 5, it's 12. 7 plus 5, 12 plus 4 is 16. 7 plus 5 is 12 plus 4 is 16. 7 plus 5 plus 4 is again 16. See, the values have somehow saturated to 16, right? So 4 plus 7 plus 5, that is again 16. So just let's forget all this thing because we have already exceeded the duration of our base time. So you can already see that the curve is getting saturated at 16. So it's like it will increase up to 12, up to 16, and then it will flatten up. So this is how an S curve forms, and I could hold my statement good that at a certain stage the curve is going to flatten up. That is, suppose here in this case the curve is going to flatten up at 16, which is nothing but the highest value upon addition of this particular ordinates of the hydrograph. Okay, so now let us discuss about the numerical that was given to us, that was asking a 6-hour unit hydrograph from a given 12-hour unit hydrograph. Now the question is that for a 12-hour unit hydrograph, why we have 0, 6, 12, 18. So now this mid ordinates were given to you so as that you can easily calculate the 6-hour unit hydrograph from the given 12-hour unit hydrograph. So basically this hydrograph is 0, 37, 111, 150. All you are going to check the multiples of the 12. But as we are given as 0, 6, 12, 18, 24, we are going to take the 6-hour lags only. But in the first addition, we will do the 12-hour lag, as because we do that much lag only whatever duration of hydrograph is given to us. So before I proceed to the question, I would just request you to go back to the part where we were showing the question to you in the presentation, and you must take a screenshot of it or at least note the values for that which we are going to calculate this particular solution. So in my case, I have written up to 66 because to the 66th hour, because I don't have very much space below. The remaining solution will be shown to you. So before that, I am going to clear out you the idea about how we are going to proceed for the solution of this kind of question. So the first step which we are going to do is the S curve addition. Okay, this will be the S curve addition, and also there will be one more thing, that is the S12 curve ordinates. That is the S12, because it is the S curve of a 12-hour unit hydrograph. So S12 curve ordinates. Okay, so how we are going to get this? So as because it is a 12-hour unit hydrograph, let's lag it to 12 hours, and we will start it from here, and we will write the first three values, that is 0, 10, 37. Fine? Okay. And here we are going to, okay, sorry, I have done some mistake. 0, 0, 10, 37. Okay, so as it is a 12-hour hydrograph, so we will write this first three values up to 12. So this will be 0, 10, 37 over here. And now simultaneously we will also do the S12 curve addition. So this will be 0, 10, 37, 76 plus 10 is 86, and 111 plus 37 is 148. Now what we are going to do, we are not going to write 76 over here, we are going to use this value over here. So this is 86. So 136 plus 86 will give us 222. I hope you are using the calculator, because I have to explain all of the thing. I am just seeing the solution and writing this. So now this is 136 plus 86 will be giving us 222, and next we will be using 148 over here. 150 plus 148 will be 298, I guess. Yeah, it's 298. It's 298. Now this 222 will be used up over here. So this is 153 plus 222 is going to give us 375. 298 will be written over here. 146 plus 298 is going to give us 444. 444. Now let's write 375 over here. 375. So 130 plus 375 is going to give us 505, I guess. Yeah, 505. I'm checking the solutions because I don't want to make any mistake over here. And okay, so next 444 will be used up over here. 444 plus 114 is going to give us 558. 558. And lastly 505 is going to come over here, and 505 and 99 is going to give us 604. Yes, 604. Okay, because I don't have space, I could do up to 66R only. But right now I would request to you, you have the values until 144. Yeah, until 144th hour. And you just do one thing. In a piece of paper or in your notebook, write these values up until 144 and the 12-hour ordinates, and following the same procedure you calculate it up to the 144th hour. Okay, so this was our first step. Now what we are going to do is S12 lagged by 6 hours. Now what I am going to do is, because we are going to find the 6-hour unit hydrograph, what we will do, we will lag this S12 curve ordinates by 6 hours. So we have to start it from 6. We will start it from 6 because we are lagging it by 6 hours. So first row will be vacant, and now we are going to write the values in this particular column. This values will be written in this particular column. This will be 0, 10, 37, 86, 86. I am proceeding in the right way. 148, 222, 298, 375, 444, 558, sorry, 444, 505, and then it will be 558. So we have now the S12 curve that is lagged by 6 hours now. Next thing is what we are going to do. This is our S12 curve ordinates and this is the lagged ordinates. What we are going to do, suppose this is our column 1, this is column 2, this is column 3, this is column 4, this is column 5. What we are going to do, we are going to get the difference over here of whom? Column 4 minus 5. Okay. So first it's 0 minus 0 is 0, 10 minus 0 is 10. Okay. So 37 minus 10 is 27. 86 minus 37 is 49. 148 minus 86 is 62. 222 minus 148 is 74. 298 minus 222 is 76. 375 minus 298 is 69. 444 minus 375, 375 minus 298 is 75 or 76, I guess. Yeah, this is 76. 375 minus 298, 375 minus 298 is going to be 77. 444 minus 375 is 69. 505 minus 44 is 61. Yes, yeah, 61. 558 minus 505 is 53. 53. 604 minus 558 is 46. Okay, so this was our observation for the sixth column, which is basically the difference between the S12 curve ordinates and the S12 lagged by 6 hours. So I hope you will be pausing the video right now, just like you have done the S12 curve ordinates until the 144th hour. I would request you to pause the video and do the same thing for this lagging of 6 hours and the difference of the fourth and the fifth column until the 144th hour. Just pause the video and calculate the values of these two columns by the method that I have shown to you. Okay, so the final thing is the ordinate of the ordinate of 6R UH. This is the last thing which we are going to do. So because we were given 12R unit hydrograph and we are asked to find out the 6R unit hydrograph. So 12 divided by 6 is going to be 2. So the formula is like the difference of these two should be multiplied by 12 divided by 6, that is equal to 2. So 12 is the given hydrograph, 6 is the hydrograph which we are going to obtain, and 2 is the divided quotient between them. So that this 2 will be multiplied to the values in the column 6. So this is going to be 0, 20, 54, 98, 124, this is 148, this is 152, 154, 138, 132, 106, 92, and so on. So I would again request you to pause the video and then continue the calculation of this seventh column until the 144th hour. And the solutions, you just pause the video, do this one, and the solutions will be shown to you right here now. Okay, so here is the solution for the question which we have solved, and you can right now check the values, and this is the these are the calculations which have been done until the 144th column. Okay, so this was all about the S-curve methods, first type of numerical, where you have given one type of hydrograph and you have to find another hour unit hydrograph. Okay, so here is the next question, that using the 6R unit hydrograph, derive the flood hydrograph due to the storm given below. So in this question we are given a 6R unit hydrograph and also a storm over here. It is the rainfall accumulated in different hours of 6 hours spans is given to us, and the phi index for the storm can be assumed to be 0.167 centimeter per hour. So there is some phi index that is given to us 0.167. So the phi index is 0.167 centimeter per hour, means if the rainfall is having a having an intensity of 0.167 centimeter per hour, that so the whole of the rainfall will be directly going into the ground as infiltration, to the as infiltration as the groundwater. But if somehow it is more than 0.167, which is actually going to happen in this case, because we have so much durations of rainfall over here, so much magnitude of rainfall over here, so the remaining water is going to contribute to the direct runoff, and thus it is going to affect the hydrograph that is given to us. Also, they are telling us that the assume that the base flow is 20 meter cube per second. So the base flow in that particular catchment or the particular river, whatever it might be, is assumed to be 20 meter cube per second. And then we have this particular unit 6-hour unit hydrograph, and then we also have this storm. So using this we have to derive the flood hydrograph. So now let's do this numerical. Okay, so for this numerical, the first thing we are going to do is that we are going to check on the rainfall, the storm, and what is the contribution from the storm to the hydrograph. So for the storm we are given, what is given is time interval in hours, that is first is 0 to 6 hours, next one is 6 to 12, and then it's 12 to 18. Okay, so next we are given the rainfall in this particular interval. The rainfall here is 4 centimeter. For 6 to 12, it is given that the rainfall, accumulated rainfall, is going to be 5 centimeter. So this is, so what is the total depth of rainfall that is going to occur is 5 minus 4, that is equal to 1 centimeter, because this is our accumulated rainfall. Accumulated rainfall is given as 0, 4, 5. So for the first 6 hours, 4 centimeters of depth of rainfall is going to accumulate, and after 6 to 12, 5 centimeters is going to accumulate. So in the 6 to 12th hour, what is the addition? That is the 1 centimeter, and that we have written over here. In the 12th to 18th hour, it has saying that 10 centimeters will be the accumulated rainfall. So this will be 10 minus 5. This is 10 minus 5, that is equal to 5 centimeter. So we have 4 centimeter, 1 centimeter and 5 centimeter as the rainfalls in this particular direction, and this is particular duration, and this all these are in centimeters. So this is also given to us. Also there is a loss of 0.167 centimeter per hour. Fine. So suppose the loss is given as 0.167. Let us assume it to be somewhere as 0.15 for our sake of convenience. 0.15, just because these values are very small, so we can just assume it, because 0.15 if I multiply with 6, that is going to be 0.9, and I can approx it to be 1 centimeter. So there's a bit of approximation, or even 0.167 if I multiply with 6 will give me around 1 centimeter. And okay, just let's forget this one. 0.167 centimeter per hour was our infiltration rate, and if I multiply with 6 hours, that is the durations of rainfall in these three spans, that is going to be 0.167 into 6, that is 1 centimeter. So the losses in terms of infiltration will be 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter and 1 centimeter for this three spans of this rainfall. And finally, we have the effective rainfall as, we have the effective rainfall. ER means effective rainfall. This is going to be 4 minus 1, that is 3 centimeter. 1 minus 1, this is going to be 0. And 5 minus 1, this is going to be 4 centimeter. So this is the first step of our calculation, that we are going to find out what is the effective rainfall, that is what is the effective rainfall depth. And now in the next step we are going to calculate the flood hydrograph using this particular values. So this is what we had found out just now, that is the effective rainfall for the 6th, 12th and up to the 18th hour. And now here this is the 6-hour unit hydrograph that is given to the question, and this is up to the 66th hour. And I hope you have noted or taken a screenshot of the question, so that it will be helpful for you to do the calculations which we are going to do in the solution of this numerical. Okay, so just imagine the scenario that we had this particular unit hydrograph, and all of a sudden in the 0 to the 6th hour, we had this rainfall which had an effective rainfall of 3 centimeter. 3 centimeter depth rainfall was access to us, and that contributed to this. Again in the next hour, that is from the 6th to 12th, there was no such contribution from the rainfall, because the whole of it went as a loss to the infiltration. And again from the 12th to 18th hour, that is from 12th to 18th hour, we had this excess rainfall of 4 centimeter depth. So now what we are going to do, just simply as from unit hydrograph we used to calculate the direct runoff hydrograph. Unit hydrograph is for 1 centimeter. So the direct runoff hydrograph for 3 centimeter will be just, the ordinates will be just the multiplication of 3, and that is like 0 into 3 will be 0, 20 into 3 will be 60, 60 into 3 will be 180, 150 into 3 will be 450, 360, 90 into 3 will be 270, 66 into 3 will be 198, 50 into 3 will be 150, 32 into 3 will be 96, 20 into 3 will be 60, 10 into 3 will be 30, and 0 into 3 will be again 0. So this was for the 0 to the 6th hour, that is at the first hour this rainfall was there to us, and thus the direct runoff hydrograph is obtained like this, the simply which we used to do for the other unit hydrographs. Now in the second scenario we will lag it by 6 hours, because this particular rainfall is starting from the 6th hour. So we are going to lag it for the first 6 hours. But the funniest thing is that there will be no contribution from this rainfall, because the whole of it is going to infiltration, and so it will be 0. Because it was 3 centimeter, we multiplied 3 with this one and we got these values. Now this is 0, we are going to multiply 0, and thus it will be 0. And we will continue till the 72nd hour, because the base time is 66. The rainfall, this unit hydrograph is continued up to the 66th hour. We started it 6 hours late, so we are going to continue it until the 72nd hour. So this was for the second phase. In the third phase, from 12th to 18th hour, we have an effective rainfall of 4 centimeter. So first two rows are going to be blank, and we are going to multiply 4 with this ordinates, and thus we will get the direct runoff hydrograph for effective rainfall of 4 centimeter, and it will be 4 into 0 is 0, 4 times 20 is 80, 4 times 60 is 240, 4 times 150 is 600. Okay, so yeah, it's fine. 4 times 150 is 600, 4 times 120 is 480, 4 times 90 is 360, 4 times 66 is 240, 264 I guess. Yeah, 264. 4 times 50 is 200. 4 times 32 is 128. Yeah. 4 times 20 is 80. 4 times 10 is 40. And 4 times 0 is 0. And this continues until the 78th hour, because we started 12 hours late. So we are going to finish 12 hours late. Okay. So this was all about the direct runout hydrograph, and also in the question we are given a base flow of 20. This is in meter cube per second. We are given a base flow of 20. So we are going to simply write 20 alongside this. Okay, this base flow is always constant, so it will continue, start from the beginning, and it will be staying with it for the entire duration until the 78th hour or even beyond that. So finally, the flood hydrograph is the summation of the base flow and the direct runoff hydrograph. So in the first row we have 20. In the second row we have 60 plus 20, that is equal to 80. The third row it's 180 plus 20 equal to 200. Now this one will be equal to 550. 450 plus 80 plus 20, that is equal to 550. 360 plus 240 will give us 600 plus 20 will be equal to 620. Yeah, that's 620. 270 plus 600 will be equal to 870 plus 20 will be equal to 890 meter cube per second. And similarly, we can get the values like it is 80, this is 698, this is 698, this is 530, 380, 530, summation of all this will give you 380, and this will be 280 I guess. Yeah, it's 280, and this one is 30 plus 20 is 50 plus 50 178. This is 80 plus 20, that is 100. 40 plus 20 is 60, and this is 60, and finally we have a 20. So this is the flood hydrograph which we were searching for in the question, and this is how we actually calculate a flood hydrograph when we are given a particular unit hydrograph and some rainfalls at particular spans, and if the infiltration is given to us or in any kind of losses to us, we can find out the excess rainfall, and from that excess rainfall we can get the direct runoff hydrograph, plus the base flow is going to be the flood hydrograph. In some questions you get that the base flow is varying. Suppose it may say that it's varying by 1 meter cube per second in every 3 hours. So what we are going to do, suppose here in this question it was a constant base flow, so we had written a constant base flow of 20. But suppose as this one I said you that 1 meter cube per second will be varying in every 3 hours. So for the 6th hour it will become 1 meter cube per second into 2, that is 22. Similarly it will become 24, and likewise you had to calculate until the last one, the last required value which we are going to find for the flood hydrograph. Okay, so this was all about the part 2 video of hydrographs, and I hope you have a clear idea about how we make the S-curve and how do we apply the S-curve for various problems. In the part 3, we are going to talk about a very typical situation when we have known the values of particular place but we don't know this particular data of some other place. But still we need to have an idea about what type of hydrograph is going to happen in that particular catchment. So for that, we are going to use some another method about which we will be discussing in the next part. So till then, please do like my video, comment in the comment section if you have any kind of doubts, and also subscribe to my channel if you are new. Please do subscribe because your subscription does give me motivation, and also with the subscription you will get to know about the various other kinds of videos that I make related to civil engineering. Thank you and have a good day.